Greetings, my name is Prashant Divisar, and this is The World We Share. Thank you for tuning in. On today's show, it's been 53 days since the Iranian conflict. I'm just taking some questions that have been written to us by viewers and also people within the Global Unites network, wanting to answer some insights, some thoughts, some perspectives on what's going on. So has the power balance really changed in the Middle East? It's become so convoluted and confusing right now that, first of all, Iran's military capacity has definitely been decimated right now. Iran's economic realities are also challenged, especially for whatever funding of proxy wars took place may be more challenged right now. On Israel's side, they've spent millions and billions of dollars on this war, and obviously it's not good for their economy either. And the spending that they've had with their Iron Dome and all of these things to stop these ballistic missiles and drones coming in have been comparatively far more expensive than the attacks that they've been receiving. So financially speaking, politically speaking, economically speaking, in general, things are weak for both Israel and Iran right now than it was 53 days ago. So what's the power balance like right now? Saudi still has an important role to play. The Gulf states in general have an important role to play. But who has control? Who is dominating the conversation? It's anybody's guess right now. There is confusion. Nobody really saw it coming that Iran would start attacking their neighbors. Nobody really thought that UAE would be the nation that would be attacked the most compared to anybody else, even more than Israel. So economically, countries that were seen as stable paradises for investments and real global marvels are now losing their credibility just because they're in the neighborhood of such chaos. So the power balance is up to anybody's guess right now, but the Middle East is definitely not the same region it was 53 days ago. So how will this affect the United States? Donald Trump is in his last 2 years as president. Obviously, he can't run for another term. And so I don't think he is very interested in public opinion and what will happen at the end of this. However, public opinion is growingly against this war. President Trump came into power saying he's against endless wars. He's an America First policy, working on domestic issues, but he has been, especially second term, has been almost entirely about international issues. So the popularity on the issues on the war is definitely going against him and the Republican Party. But for him, especially because he's done with his term, I don't know if he's taking that seriously enough. But it really will start affecting, if it starts affecting the financial realities of the country. It is an expensive war. If it starts affecting the price of fuel for the average American consumer, that will continue to create a deal of resentment that might create turbulence within the country even before the end of the Trump administration. So the Trump regime needs to get their act together in the sense of they need to rush this, but every day it takes, it's going to hurt their reputation, their credibility, and also the domestic policies that they said they would do. They're going to run out of their capacity to do so. Yes, so when President Trump launched this attack, in his first speech, he mentioned multiple things. One of it was he talked about the threat of a nuclear weapon and that Iran was close to creating it, even though the Midnight Hammer operation managed to decimate a large portion of the program, that Iran had continued to pursue it and they needed to engage. But then on the other side, they also said that they would like to see a new regime. And he mentioned that the people of Iran, that once the attacks have taken place, for them to take up the nonviolent protests that they have before, now to take up arms and to gain control of their country. So the confusion was, is this about nuclear power? Is this about trying to limit Iran's ballistic missiles and drone arsenal? Is this about regime change? So the Trump administration of the regime failed to fully understand what's the exact purpose. And they kind of flip-flopped on it here and there, but these three issues seem to be ways that they would measure victory. So number one, if Iran is nowhere close to having a nuclear weapon, that will be considered a major win for Israel and for the United States. Currently, Iran seems to have enriched uranium above 60%, maybe up to 90%. And it's also very clear that now they have the vehicle to carry a load of nuclear weapons or nuclear waste. They could carry it with ballistic missiles and drones that could reach up to 4,000 kilometers. So many countries in Europe, all across the Gulf states, and Israel for sure are all targeted lines there. So they would want to see that as a victory. Secondly, it'll be a major win if there is regime change. But I don't think the US is willing to send boots on the ground to go and fight another war that will take years to fight the IRGC, to see them all moved out and a new regime come into play. They're hopeful that people on the ground who are protesting, who lost maybe 40,000 people killed, that those people will rise up when the time is right and get power. Or they're hoping for a lesser brutal leadership than the IRGC or the supreme leader to be able to have some level of diplomatic relations where it's not as toxic as it is. They would consider that a win as well. Finally, if they can reduce the arsenal, the military capacity of Iran, and reduce the drones and the ballistic missiles arsenal, they would consider that a victory as well. But now, everybody's going to try and save face. Even if they get a little bit of something, they'll consider it a win. But the fourth area that became complication for the Trump regime is the Strait of Hormuz. As long as that's blocked and Iran continues to defiantly say, we haven't lost yet. Yes, we may have lost 156 of our naval ships no longer with us. We've lost a lot of our weaponry, but still we have the capacity to hold on to this 40 miles of strait. And that hindrance for 20% of the world's economy, especially with the fuel disbursement there, is another layer that they would want to see a victory in. That this is back to business, and if that takes place, they would consider it a victory. But regardless, in war, there are no real winners. The cost of war, the political damage, the collateral damage, the devastation that's taken place is always more harmful than any win anyone could claim. Now, for Iran, they know that pound for pound they cannot fight with the Americans or with Israel. So this asymmetric war of making sure America not winning on any of these four or all of these four is a win for Iran. If there is no regime change, if the Strait of Hormuz is still well within the grasp of the IRGC, if they have some levels of ballistic missiles and drones still in their hands, and if they are still capable of building a nuclear weapon, they would consider that a win. By America and Israel not winning on any of these four fronts, Iran will claim a victory for itself. When I say Iran, the IRGC and this regime. So the allegation against the United States of initiating attacks while in the midst of a negotiation is a valid one. And maybe it's a tactic, maybe it's a sign of saying the negotiation is not going in good faith. They don't feel that there is honest negotiation on either side, so they decide to push the issue by initiating attack. Or maybe they're going into the negotiation saying, this may go south, may not work out, we're going to go and take military action. I don't think that's dealing in good faith by allowing that kind of attack. But then again, the Trump administration, they always act outside normal diplomatic channels. Trump is seen as a political outsider, and even when it comes to negotiations and dealing with powers and militaries around the world, he's always done things outside the norm. Can it be respected and appreciated? No. This is a breakdown of society and civilizations as we know it. But at the same time, with these negotiations, if America truly believes, and if it is true, and Israel truly believes that Iran is close to creating a nuclear weapon, in Israel's mind, there's this constant insecurity where a nation that says death to Israel day in and day out, and a nation that says death to America day in and day out, they don't need 10 nuclear weapons, they just need one. And one successful launch will be the end of Israel entirely overnight. And if that's the reality, that insecurity prompts them to want to act before it's too late. Now, if that's true, or is it a lie that they're making up? Iran is nowhere close to having the weapon, but saying that gives them some legitimacy. We don't know. Because if Iran's especially highly ideologically radical leadership truly believes that they want to wipe Israel from the face of the earth, a nuclear weapon is all they need. And so if that's the insecurity and the fear and the reasoning that Israel has, then taking action immediately when the threat is imminent seems to be an understandable reality. But the possibility of lies and exaggerations and manipulations just for the expediency of your view is also a possibility we have to deal with. And for those of us who are not in the know, anything could be possible. And therefore, we watch in dismay as this conflict goes on. So Benjamin Netanyahu has over the years made many statements that have been proven to be wrong. And more often than not, he speaks with so much certainty that you know that he's just trying to push an agenda that is beneficial to him and his political career, maybe not even Israel's best interests. When we look at the October 7th attacks, it was under his leadership that this took place. And he has had no room to be held accountable for his leadership, and whoever in his government has failed the people of Israel. At the same time, Netanyahu has always been a hawkish prime minister. That means he's always been for, his only solution is promoting violence, taking the aggressive stance. And that hasn't made life in Israel better. That hasn't made the life in the Middle East better. And therefore, if there was a democratic election right now, Netanyahu most likely will not be elected. In fact, there are serious allegations of corruption, and there is a possibility that he might even face prison time for those corruption allegations. So I often question Netanyahu's leadership because it's always seemed to be proposed towards a personal political agenda. Is it his nation's best interests at all times? I question it. I may be wrong, but that's my opinion. And Netanyahu's assumption that violence and aggression will soon solve the problems is a very naive and short-term perception. Because when you attack Hamas and innocent civilians while you're attacking Hamas leaders, yes, you may say that they're hiding behind civilians and therefore civilians die, but when you allow that level of collateral damage and pain on a population, you are now creating a new generation of young leaders who want to become violent and who will embrace extreme ideologies and violence against your very own people. So short term, it may have looked that you won, but in the long term, have you made the region more unstable? In most of these conflicts, just assuming that you can bomb your way through the problems is a lie. And it leaves your people, this generation and generations to follow, more insecure and less safe than they are today. So Trump, once again, is unorthodox. His diplomacy is different. But he has had some wins. When it comes to NATO, most NATO countries were not contributing their fair share for NATO's expenses. He managed to push European countries that were, I think, contributing less than 2% of NATO's budget to push every country to come to 5%. That would not have been possible if not for Trump. Trump's desire is to make sure that it's not all the US that's contributing, that he wants to make other countries, especially in Europe, also contribute fairly. That's how he started. And there was some level of respect. And his ability to get results in a very short time, to bring about a ceasefire in Gaza and to bring the peace board together, he had the support of France and the UK and Italy and all these countries, and he was doing well with the relations there. But in this particular situation, without consulting his allies, with just a conversation with Israel, rushing into this situation, even if there was a legitimate threat, he overplayed his hand of the relationship and the influence he had on his European allies. But on the other side, the US has come to a point of so much military superiority and strength, and also a financial capacity, and now a will to use it, that it sees itself not really needing its allies, at least in Trump's mind. So he's like, I can do what I want without them. If you want, you can be a part of it. If not, we'll go ahead. Europe has weakened itself over the years, economically and militarily. They are not able to defend themselves. They are definitely much in need of NATO and NATO's strongest supporter, the United States, to protect themselves. What if Russia decides to invade the UK tomorrow? Can the UK protect itself? Can the UK, France, and a few other allies protect themselves? There is still going to be a need and a desire to have the US on their side. So it's tricky, and Trump knows that, and Trump continues to overplay his hands and be bullish about it. So more and more countries are going to become isolated and start forgetting about alliances and start figuring out how can we protect ourselves by ourselves. So the world order is changing. And a lot of realities that we thought was the common reality is no longer the case. So the world is not the same place we knew it to be just a decade ago. Geopolitics has changed, alliances have changed, and a president with executive powers who supposedly is the leader of the free world is behaving in a manner that's more like a corporate bully than a diplomat. But then again, that's what he said he was. And now the whole world is experiencing the reality of this new leadership.